set and talk to us. And it is a fine line that a coach walks when your team is playing well. You don't want to say too much. You want to just let them keep playing.
Holloway opens up the third game with a kill, and for Nebraska, familiar territory actually to be down 0-2.
Yeah, familiar at least this weekend here in Wisconsin. And Sarah Pavin does exactly what she needs to do to get her team back in it and come out with a strong jump serve.
Set for Pressey, nice dunk. But Nebraska is able to keep it alive. It's actually going to go for a kill on Pressey and hit the floor.
Angie Pressey, again, a smart outside hitter, sees that she's got Pavin playing defense right back and drops a little dink right over the block and down.
This is Kate. Set for Stalls, and they're going to say it was tipped by Chuter in the backcourt. Nebraska gets on the board, 2-1.
And let's look for Holloway to set her middles much more. Stalls will get more sets. Cooper might get more sets, and Nebraska's been unstoppable in the middle.
There's Orchard trying to use the block. Sarah Pavin, and it painted the line over on the left side. Perfectly placed and a really severe angle there. Yeah, that was a tough hit for Pavin. Set well outside, and she was behind the 10-foot line and found a way to get it down. That's what great hitters do. Hoteling serving for Nebraska. Orchard able to make use of the quick set by Lloyd.
And that's the first real smooth connection between Lloyd and Orchard, and that's probably a key for Cal too. You want to try to take a little bit of pressure off your outside hitters and get some middle going. And now Cal's come out a little slow out of the box here in game 3.
Is that to be expected with Nebraska so much against the wall, and Cal feels like maybe they have a little bit of a cushion?
You know, it's hard to say. I wouldn't expect it, knowing how important this is for Cal and knowing that they have a great opportunity to do something super special right now. And again, every time the set's low and inside, Jordan Larson tries to take advantage of Lloyd down that line. She drops her arm and just rips it, and Lloyd has a strong block. She takes the line away, and she's had 3 big stuff blocks off of Larson out there.
We know how momentum changing those blocks can be. There's Larson again. Nice dig by Pressey. Set up high for Chuter. And another block this time. It's Orchard and Chuter on the left side.
And again, Chuter does a great job on a very difficult transition set. She just gets enough on it to make Nebraska not have a great defensive control, and then they get the block up on Pavin.
9 blocks for Cal now, and that's Pressey serving again. Ellen, and it tiptoes off the top of the net, but kept alive by Nebraska. Pressey, nice diving save. Chuter gets a little luck. Never hurt to have a little luck there. I think there was just so much topspin on that ball. It just was able to fall over and fall into the court.
And there you see, sometimes it's your night. Rich Feller loves that play. John Cook
doesn't like it as much.
Exactly.
No. But Nebraska gets the point back, and it's now 5-5.
Holloway does a good job of taking a tight pass and just throwing it down.
And now Holloway will serve. Back set for Orchard. Nice dig by Pavin. And there's the block by Nebraska for Chutera, and they're going to call that a lift on Kristen Pavin.
A little miscommunication for Cal on that play. They're scrapping, they're still covering and making defensive plays, but once the setter's got the beat on the ball, you've got to get out of the way.
Holloway again. Pipe set for Pressey, right off the side of Holloway's arm. And Cal ties it up 6-6.
Angie Pressey, again, an all-around volleyball player, receiving a lot of balls over on that right side and then hitting the pipe out of the middle. Doing it all.
There's Cooper on the backslide, perfectly placed. And the NCAA Women's Volleyball Championship continues in Sacramento next week. Coverage begins on December 13th at 9 p.m. Eastern Time on ESPN2. For more information on the 2007 Women's Volleyball Championship, go to ncaasports.com, the official online home for all 88 NCAA championships. And the referee, Gary Hesse, is going to call that one out of bounds.
And again, Nebraska unable to take advantage of a free ball. You got a little flare set to Hotelling, just out of bounds.
There's Lloyd with that crazy spin serve. It's been effective tonight. Cooper, try for the kill. Here's Kathan off the top of the block.
High shot, high shot. Get up, bro, come on.
Another set for Kathan. The Holloway is there with the up. Paven, and it's just wide.
And again, that's the cumulative effect of the Cal block. Having that time trying to avoid it. Another unforced error for Nebraska.
And Holloway hit the deck hard on that shot. Last point, and a service ace by Lloyd.
The McEnroe off the ground. Love, love. That's an ace.
And John Cook wants to talk it over with his team. Cal leads 9-7. It's the third game of the NCAA Women's Volleyball Regional in Madison, Wisconsin. The NCAA Women's Volleyball Regional Finals presented on ESPNU by Enterprise Rent-A-Car. We'll pick you up. Cal leading 9-7 over Nebraska in the third game of the NCAA Regional Final. This is the freshman Carly Lloyd to serve. Paven. And Lloyd can't control the dig, and Sarah Paven tonight, Mike, already 2,000 career kills.
Just an outstanding outside hitter. Just does so many things for this Nebraska squad. And they're going to call on her a lot here in game 3 to get them back in this match.
Serving error there by Banworth. And yeah, Sarah Paven, probably one of the most decorated players in women's volleyball history. There's stalls on the quick set. Dug by Lloyd. Morgan Beck. Nice cover by Jordan Larson. It's going to be a net violation.
Tough break for Cal. They did a lot of good things in that rally defensively, and Chutra just passes that one free ball a little too tight, and Lloyd unable to control it at the net. Point for Nebraska.
This is Paven again on the serve. The Honda Broderick Female Collegiate Athlete of the Year. And should be another candidate, Angie Pressey, on the kill.
Angie Pressey again finding the seam between the Nebraska block. Just loves to go out here on the outside, hang, take a look around, and then find that seam between the outside blocker and the middle blocker.
14 kills for Pressey, and she's hitting just over 41% as a service error there by the libero, Kristen Kathan, and Cal now only with a 1-point lead, 11-10. This is Hoteling. Back set for Ellen Orchard. Nice up by Nebraska. Stalls. Pressey. And Hoteling can't handle it in the backcourt.
And again, athleticism pays for Angie Pressey right there. A transition set way inside. She has the quick feet and the chop across her body to get the job done. Another nice individual bit of work for Angie Pressey.
4-time All Pac-10 first team. Pressey, the 5'8" monster on the outside. And a nice kill by Jordan Larson to return the favor.
And that time Jordan Larson did a better job of reaching, not dropping her arm, and takes advantage of the block right there for a big kill for Nebraska.
We're going to have a substitution for Nebraska. Lindsay Light's going to enter the game for stalls. Rachel Schwartz will go in for Holloway. Excuse me, Maggie Griffin will go in for Holloway.
And this is that double switch where Maggie Griffin will come in and set for the team. And Light will play right side.
There's Orchard, kept alive by Daly. Now Cal has taken a 13-11 lead.
And again, there's nothing in the stat books that's going to show what a great cover and set in transition that was for Cal. But it's the little things that often make the difference. And right now, Cal is doing all the little things well.
Pressy on the serve. Here's Larson using the block on the left side. And that was one of the few times the Cal block hasn't worked.
And that was interesting that Coach Cook left that substitution team stay on and play that serve receive. Normally he takes them back out, and now Holloway back into serve.
And Banworth back in the game at libero. Nice up by Banworth. Here's Pavin. Just lands on the line. That could be why she's the AVCA Player of the Year.
Absolutely. Nebraska's going to see a lot more of this. To Pavin in transition on that right side. Just going high, finding the court.
Pavin also a 4.0. Perfect. Biochemistry major, as that one's overcooked by Pressy. And now Nebraska's taken the lead 14-13, and how this has turned around so quickly just in the last few points.
But you gotta like the body language of the Cal players, even giving up a couple of silly points. They're focused and they're relaxed.
There's Chutro with her first kill of the third game.
And again, when things are getting a little bit dicey, you've always got that high outside to go to settle your team down, and Chutro again delivers for Cal.
And just a sophomore, he said, but so poised because so much match experience, especially internationally. She's from Croatia, and it's an ace for Cal and Ellen Orchard.
And Orchard had a couple aces last night, and she's got a couple aces again here tonight. She's got just a little float serve cross court, but she finds a way to make the ball dance.
Larson, and that was clean, but right off the right side. I thought someone from Cal had touched that ball.
Yeah, that's just a hitting error right there. Larson one-on-one on the right side. Holloway gives her a perfect set, and she hits it out down the line.
There's Pavin. Nice up by Pressy in the backcourt. Kept alive by Nebraska. Pavin using the block again.
Nebraska's in the net. Another point for Cal, and Cal continues to play the defense, get the soft blocks, do the little things, and they are really starting to put some heat on Nebraska right now. This is crunch time.
And a 3-0 run by Cal with Ellen Orchard serving. Cooper goes into the net, and they're going to say
no touch on the block. 4 hits. Again, Holloway. Nebraska takes a little extra time that time, huddles up as a team, and with the veteran players, they realize that this is now or never. They've got to right the ship.
A 4-point lead now for Cal in this third game. And when you need a point, you go to Sarah Pavin.
And you see Pavin coming off the net with a little more animation, a little more grinta, like they say in Italian. She wants to get her team fired up. She wants to turn the thing around.
It starts with plays like that, or the freshman Carly Lloyd can pull the momentum right back. It's 19-15 Cal.
Well, there was a similar play when Lloyd was in the back row and Hotelling went up with an open net and just plopped it down. That time, Lloyd in the front row just kind of played a little cat and mouse and then got her hands over just in time to get the block.
And a service error, though, by Lloyd, and probably couldn't have come at a worse time as they're trying to put together a run here in the middle part of the game. But they still lead 19-16 over Nebraska. Cal's up 2-0. And freshman trading service errors there as Banworth commits one of her own.
And John Cook just returns to the bench, and just utter frustration right now for him.
This is Chutara. She's been excellent in the first 2 games. Pavin, and Pressy was there for the block, but the rest of the Cal team couldn't handle it. That was a rocket by Sarah Pavin.
Yeah, that's a big break for Nebraska as well. Pressy did an unbelievable job one-on-one blocking, getting a nice soft block, and that's the one you got to come up with defensively if you're Cal.
At 5'8", Richfeller puts her on the best outside hitter of their opponent. And a roof by Nebraska. Stalls and Hotelling coming up with a big defensive play.
Morgan Beck is really out of sync over there on the right side. She does so many other things for the team. Blocks, does great serve reception. You got to keep her on the floor. But as a setter, Lloyd, you might want to go out to your bread and butter right now and keep Pressy and Chutra involved.
Here's Pressy. Finds the seam in the block between Stalls and Rachel Holloway. And Pressy willing her team to this victory.
And that is just world-class outside hitting right there, because that was a rocket down the line. Pressy has to dive down the line, make the pass, get up, and bomb in transition. Great individual effort.
Stalls on the backslide, kept alive by Kristen Cathan. Pipe set for Chutra, and it works. Cal's up 22-18 on the reigning national champs in this game 3.
And again, John Cook is going to take a timeout. He has got to settle his team down and get things smoother on offense.
An amazing point by Cal. They lead 22-18 in game 3 of the NCAA Women's Volleyball Regional Finals. We'll have more coming up after this. The NCAA Women's Volleyball Regional Finals, presented on ESPNU by Enterprise Rent-A-Car. We'll pick you up. That's downtown Madison, Wisconsin. And here's a look at what's going on inside the gym here at the Fieldhouse on the University of Madison.
And Angie Pressy's just doing a great job of mixing things up. So athletic, chopping across her body. There's a great individual play. She got the jump serve down the line and then finished.
Pressy, 18 kills. Her teammate Hannah Chutra has 20, and that's Sarah Pavin.
And Pavin again taking a tough set with a two-person block, going high and hitting the back line. And Nebraska's got to try to put together a couple of nice defensive transitions. They just haven't been that smooth when they've had their opportunities.
Hotelling serving, that's Orchard. And just out of bounds for Cal, and Nebraska now only trailing by 2 points in this third game. And Hotelling will serve again. Cambridge, Nebraska, population 1,000, but it's a service ace for the senior.
And I think that ball was out. Just Morgan Beck couldn't get her right foot out of the way in time, and it just clipped her foot, and that's a huge, we said Nebraska had to have a little luck, had to do a few different things to get it going, and they've done it.
Mike, remember, for up-to-the-minute news for everything that is college sports, log on to ESPNU.com. If you don't have ESPNU, be sure to log on to the ESPNU.com. Type in your zip code at the top of the webpage, or call your local cable operator or satellite provider. Log on to ESPNU.com today. You can get more volleyball coverage. We got a great match going on here. Let's just put it in perspective. We got the reigning national champs, Nebraska Cornhuskers, down 0-2. And now, as they were trailing in the third game, able to come back as we've seen them do so many times before, and now only trail by 1. What does Cal have to do right now? Well,
Cal has to just keep doing what they've been doing. They've been playing great defense. They knew their block was going to be good. They knew their serve was going to be good. And you know, Angie Pressy and Hannah Chutra are going to be strong on the outside. But it's really been their defense that's made the difference. And there you see Tracy Stalls. She's going to have to get it going here at the front net for Nebraska, get a few blocks.
Really the emotional leader for this team, Tracy Stalls. Fantastic collegiate career in Nebraska and in her senior year.
And they just haven't been setting her enough. She's unstoppable in the middle.
Come on, Pressy, get it.
Pressy off the block again.
And again, smart outside hitting for Pressy, just going up high and hitting off the Holloway on the right side, the setter. You got the setter on the outside, go high, hit high down the line, and you're going to get a tool or a kill.
I was talking with Carly Lloyd yesterday. She said one of the reasons why she came to Cal was that she would even just get 1 year with Angie Pressy and to play with a volleyball player of her caliber.
And there's really the first little hiccup for Cal, not taking advantage of a free ball. Anytime you get a chance to get an easy one on Nebraska, you want to jump on it. And let's see how Cal reacts from that miscue. Let's see if they come back, get focused, and get a good serve receive.
Maggie Griffin into the game for the Huskers along with Corey Cooper. They replace Stalls and Rachel Holloway. And Lloyd again, and that trick has worked for her at least 3 times this match.
And Carrie Lloyd starting to do the right things right here at the end of the game.
See Amanda Gates there getting nervous, the senior.
Well, you know, it used to be the old thinking, you had a freshman setter, it was a rebuilding year. Not so much anymore. Bryn Keogh for Stanford in 2004, Holloway last year. Freshman setters that led their team to the NCAA championship. So now maybe it's Carrie Lloyd's turn.
And how about sophomores there with Corey Cooper? And I'll tell you, yesterday in the match against MSU, she put together the first 3 kills in the 5th game and got Nebraska going on the right track. It's the reason why they're playing tonight.
And now Nebraska needs to get back into it with their middles.
That's Holloway serving back in the game. Schutra using the block. Holloway almost into the side of the net. Keeps it alive for Nebraska. Schutra. And they're going to say it was tipped in the backcourt, and now Cal takes a 25-23 lead.
And Schutra did a real good job of just taking an inside set, hitting it high off the hands. Great job of outside hitting for Anna.
This is Ellen Orchard, the senior, on a service ace.
And again, that's 3 now for Orchard. She just has some kind of magic going off that left corner, serving cross court with the floaty.
Cal now 4 points away from the NCAA semifinals. Cal Riley, but it's going to be a net violation, a little overzealous in the middle.
And that's a big break for Nebraska. Orchard had another veritable ace with the overpass. Cal just not converting.
Larson, great attempt at a serve receive by Caveman. And Larson is keeping the Huskers alive.
And Jordan Larson coming up with a huge changeup off speed down the line.
Larson again. Schutra. That is no chance you're defending against that.
And that's just a little bit of a breakdown for Nebraska. You gotta know the ball's going out there to Schutra on that play. They only get 1 blocker out there, and a great outside hitter, if they've got 1 block, it's always in their favor.
How about the great combination of the serving by Lloyd, the crazy spin serve, and then the kills by Schutra, but this time Nebraska's able to get the ball back. Just down by 1, Cal leads 27-26.
Cal just needs to be steady here with their serve receive. They've got the guns to go to.
Banward is serving. Schutra uses the block. Sarah Pavin. Schutra's there for the block, and the solo block and roof. Cal is 2 points away from sending the reigning champs home.
Not even sure if that first hit cleared the net, but Schutra stayed with it and got the overpass. Again, poor ball control for Nebraska.
Sarah Pavin overcooked it, and we have a game and match point for the Cal Bears, the number 10 seed. They've never been to the regional finals before.
Angie Pressey again doing a great job blocking on that left side.
Schutra. Match point. Set for Beck. Off the block. Hotelling. Great dig by the libero. Pressey. And Cal's done it! They've made history for the first time. The Cal Bears are going to the NCAA semifinals. And how fitting that Angie Pressey comes up with the final kill of that game. She has been outstanding tonight. 20 kills.
Pressey and Schutra were so solid.